appreciate it on a happy but sad day. A little bit bittersweet, of course. But we're glad the day is finally here when we can honor Kevin's memory. And we thought it might be appropriate to begin with to go around the room, and if anybody has anything they'd like to say, just say it, and we'll move along and give everybody a shot. So, anybody like to start?
I will.
Go ahead, Shel.
Kevin was a doll to work with. He was great at events. He was a good friend, and I'm happy to have worked with him.
I got a couple of things. First of all, for the nights that he stayed up during our marathons, our radio marathons, amazing. But the one day of the year where I ever had to do this show by myself because he was out and my car broke down, Kevin was the one that came and got me and saved us from having a show. There would have been no show on the air.
The thing about Kevin is he always did what you asked him to do. You know, there was never any question about it. He just, Kevin, I need you to do this. Okay. And he was just great like that.
He always had a smile on his face. I mean, like, you know, out at the billboard, it would be so cold out there, and he'd just be out there working hard, man, with positive energy. And I would see him out at, you know, sometimes, you know, Force Fest and all that. The kid just smiled all the time, and everything he was going through, he just kept a positive spin on everything. He didn't want anybody to know he was sick. He didn't want to talk about it. He just wanted to just be like a normal guy, and he was. He was a great kid for us. So always had that good smile on his face all the time.
I didn't know how to use anything when I came here. And it would be 1 o'clock in the afternoon and something would stop working and I would look around and I couldn't find anybody. And I would go, oh my God! And Kevin would be in his office and come running down the hall and go, boop, boop, boop. And everything would be good again.
He certainly was the lifeboat, that's for sure. Following up what Andy said, you know, about his attitude and not wanting people to know what he was going through. I mean, I remember just a few months ago with the billboard. You know, I'm like, are you okay? You're going to be all right? He goes, I would not miss this for anything. Stop asking, I'll be there. And it was just so, that was him, you know, in a statement or two. So
Kevin was great to be around if you were like, if you've been around 100 years, if you've sort of like been in the business a long time, because what he did was he reminded you of how much you loved radio just by watching him. He was very inspirational in the fact that he loved radio the way we all do. And he was great at reminding us that.
He never said no. He never said no to anybody's request to do anything. In all the years that he was here, and all the different departments and responsibilities that he had, he made sure that if anybody needed him, he stepped up.
Kevin truly was a renaissance of radio. I mean, he knew everything from websites and promotions to ad sales to on air. It was incredible.
And he knew everything, but he never stopped trying to learn about it too. He was always in my office asking me about things, and I always really admired how he had that spirit in him, that as well versed as he was, and as versatile as he was, and as valuable as he was. Because let's face it, it's guys like Kevin that are the bedrock of a radio station. Guys and men and women like Kevin that are the bedrock of a radio station, and he never stopped with that kind of thirst and that hunger to learn this business and make himself better at it and look for new opportunities, and that's remarkable.
From the standpoint of the Child Advocacy Center, again, the radiothons, Kevin here throughout the night, and PJs and all, running around, keeping us awake. He was just always smiling, and you know what? He really believed in what we were doing, and that really, you could see it. It came through from our standpoint as a committee. And again, I think I passed on to you. There will be a brick memory of Kevin Collins at the Advocacy Center as well.
Just to go off what Bill said about you know, learning about radio and doing everything in radio. I'm glad he got the opportunity to go up to Binghamton. I'm glad he got the chance to be on the air every day, because he would, you know, he'd ask me, he'd ask Alex to listen to his tapes and you know, kind of talk him through it, and he was so humble about it that, you know, he's like, nobody's ever gonna hire me just to be on the air, and he didn't want to apply for the job. He didn't want to try, and I said, do it. You know, why not? This is your chance. Do it. And I'm glad that that he got the proof that he was good enough to do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And being like my boss and working for him, he's always the peacekeeper, and he's really good at letting us know that he was there for us no matter what. He had the promotions assistants backs at any event, for any client, for any salesperson. He was there for us, and to have a promotions coordinator who'll be there for your back no matter what is really great, and he's such a good peacekeeper among us when we had our drama, you know, and he's just one of the best coordinators I've worked for.
I have an advertiser who's on the air with us. It's Monmouth Ocean Children's Heart Center. Dr. Rivera. And when she had heard about Kevin, she called me up. She had tears in her eyes. She said, that young man always said hello to us at any event we were ever at. And they were just very broken up. That's Kevin. And I'm also going to add, Kevin had an extra pair of Bon Jovi tickets a couple years ago, and he said, "Roger, here, they're yours." And I mean, that was great. So.
Nice. I think what everyone is saying, he did his job as well as anybody could, but he also made us better at what we do. And the give and take was, you couldn't put a tag on that. So
I think anyone in this room was touched by Kevin in some way, and there's really no way for me to say, what he did for me, like the smiles and the good times and absolutely everything. Like, my life is better for having him in it. Sorry.
Well said, Lexi. Well said.
He was like always the happiest person that I ever knew, no matter what was going on in his life. And if I came in and I was in a bad mood or something, Kevin always made me feel better, no matter what he said, even if it was something simple, something to joke about. And he always made me happy. That was one of the best things about him.
I think some credit needs to go to Kevin's circle of friends too, that always looked out for him, like Alex and Steve McKiernan, and a lot of people that may not be here today that always looked out for him. They didn't make a big deal about it, but they were always looking out for him. I remember them at the radiothon. It was like 1 or 2 in the morning, and Kevin was just dragging it. He wouldn't rest. And Alex and Meredith and they were all like, and Becky, they were all like, Kevin, you gotta get some rest. It's for your own good. And his circle of friends just always looked out for him, and I admired that about them as well.
Well, we wanted to find an appropriate way to honor Kevin and to make sure that the Collins family knows that they're always going to be a part of our family. So I want to give great kudos to Lou Russo, whose idea this was. Let's see if you do the honor of, or Teddy, go ahead and do the honor of plugging in the sign. The sign is going to remain lit forever in dedication of this studio as the Kevin Collins Memorial Studio. And the plaque reads, Kevin Collins Memorial Studio, March 31st, 2009. WJLK Studio 1 is lovingly dedicated to our friend and colleague, Kevin Collins, Kevo. His legacy was forged here. His memory will live here. I don't think anything more needs to be said about how much this particular individual touched all of our lives in one way, shape, or form, and I think we're all very grateful for that. We're all grateful that we could celebrate that memory today, and we're all grateful that this will shine all the time in this studio. So thank you all very much for coming. Have a look. Gather around.
We're going to go on the air now and do a moment of silence in Kevin's honor. 94.3 The Point, the Jersey Shore's hit music channel. As you may have heard, 94.3 The Point air personality and our good friend Kevin Collins recently lost his battle with cystic fibrosis. Today, we are proud to rename our on-air studio the Kevin Collins Memorial Studio. Along with our CEO, Bill Sauer, our staff, and the Collins family, we ask that you all join us in commemorating Kevin's memory with this moment of silence. From all of us at 94.3 The Point, we thank you for participating in this special moment with us. We'll be back with more from the Kevin Collins Memorial Studio in just a moment on 94.3 The Point.